Yes, guys, we are back. Sorry about the lateness. That's all my fault because my computer's a complete arsehole. And wouldn't start properly. But big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. This is going to be a Liverpool debate show today. We're going to talk about some certain Liverpool topics and debate them and come to mature, proper answers, aren't we, guys? Yes. So, yeah, should be a good show. No. Not all. It should be a good show, guys. But guys, don't forget before you start, don't forget hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And if any moderators in the chat could people put guest channels in the live chat, I'd appreciate it. So I've got a packed house today. I've got a packed house, and I've obviously I haven't had. I think he has been on the show before. I think it's been just a long time actually. Quasi, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. Thank you for having me, man. It's been a while. I'm always in the chat, but not on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad I got you here, man. I'll get you on more. Don't you worry about that going forward.
Thank you.
Obviously, I've got my right hand man, K Mac, who's just. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Hope everyone's well. If there's anyone that's raided from mine, right in there that you have, because I did tell you all to go. I did put the link in my show. They finished at 6:30. Yeah.
There you go.
7:30, sorry, 7:30.
And back on the channel, my man Cav, been a while. Cav was an original OG on the channel as well. Must say this. Big up, Cav.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I like the intro. I thought he was playing Guitar Hero. What's this? Doing a rock number.
I just plugged in my guitar in the Apple for a little bar.
You're very talented, Jay. You're very talented. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Good man.
I'm all right, and I'm looking forward to talking football. As I was saying to you guys backstage, life's life in, and I don't find much time to do these things I enjoy. So any moment I get to come and chat about Liverpool, I try and do it where I can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for inviting us on.
Definitely. Be out John Miller in the chat. Says KMX sent me. Be out Connor. Be up my man Luke as well. Luke, if you're available and you want to join in, man, I can throw you the link as well in a chat. So yeah, Luke, if you're available, you want to join in as well in this, I will throw the chat your way as well. Obviously we've got G and N's on their way as well, but they'll be here soon. I think they're in traffic at the moment, so they'll be on their way home soon. But guys, we've got loads to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Zubimendi rumours that have persisted the last couple of days. I think I started them because I'm indie on Twitter. There you go. I've just let everyone know right now. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that later in the show. We're going to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. Recent comments have just come out about Trent today. Can be a bit worrying. We're going to talk about that. But what we're going to talk about first is Alisson Becker. Alisson Becker, right there. If he weren't good looking, I'll tell you what, I think there'd be more hate. There'd be more hate coming his way. Again, with another injury. Paul Joyce letting us all know that beautiful news while we're eating our cornflakes this morning. Thank you, Paul Joyce. I believe that's like 260 games he's missed for Liverpool now through injury. One of them, obviously, was his Achilles. I think that burst against Norwich.
I think it's days. I think it's days, not games. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Days. That's what I mean. I don't know why I said games. Yeah, 200.
Because I said games as well, and I was like, hang on. Right.
No, it ain't right. Yeah, that'd be. You imagine that'd be like years.
Yeah,
it's days. Sorry, guys, it is days.
It's 50 games, by the way. Sorry, I think it's 40 games. Is it 40 or 50 games? 40 games. Six injuries, 4 illnesses.
Right, Quasi. I'll go around the room on this Alisson debate. We'll go have a chat about it properly. Yeah. But Quasi. Alisson Becker, look, we all believe he's the best goalkeeper in the world. I certainly do, in a way. But these injuries, though, are they coming a little concerning? Because we talk about our players getting injuries a lot. We talk a lot about the outfield players and what can we do if we miss that player, they miss that player. We sometimes forget Alisson is as injury prone as a lot of them. You know, when we talk about Kanate, I think Alisson's probably worse for injuries. What do you think the issue is? What is the problem? Why is our goalkeeper, especially, why has he got tight hamstrings as a goalkeeper? What's happening?
It's not like he's pressing up front, right? I think with a lot of people, I've been saying this, and I said this in the back, in the green room. I said, Alisson don't know how to kick, especially long kicks. Because every time last year, that was the same problem. When he got injured, it was because he had a long kick and then his hamstring went.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he always have that problem. And for some reason, I think it always get aggravated. I don't know if they're training him too hard or he's running too hard or whatever it is. We have a new medical department, so why is it persistent again? You know, so at this point, I think it's more of the body type that he is. And if you look at him, he lost weight. He looks slimmer. So I don't know what's going on with him, but that hamstring usually has to do with kicking. And the slot ball, the goalkeeper still have to be involved, right? It's not like he's a traditional goalkeeper. He's the modern type goalkeeper. So his hamstrings are made of biscuits. So if every year he goes off, I mean, anybody reminds me of a year that he played the whole season with that injury?
Yeah, I hear you. These injuries came out, Chloe. They're just look. He's the best goalkeeper in the world for me, and he has that. He's missing games through injuries. He's going to miss another game. Look, I won't say like all games are important. Yeah, all games are important. So, I just don't think we can afford our goalkeeper to keep getting muscle injuries. Now, muscle injuries is what you usually think an outfield player gets. With a goalkeeper, it's usually broken hand, broken fingers, things like that. You can be like, right, you can understand that as a goalkeeper, K-Mac. But for muscle injuries, time and time again, it's a bit of a concern long term because he's not getting younger; he's getting older, isn't he?
Yeah. It is a concern because he's had 3 hamstrings in less than a year. Like, that's red flags. Sorry, that's a red flag. Like, and I want to give you some numbers on him. I wanted to go last because I wanted Cav to cover other things like before. But I'll give you some numbers on Ali because I think it's insane. So Ali's had 40 games missed for Liverpool, more than any other goalkeeper in the last 5 years. The other person before that is Nick Pope, who was out for God knows how long with a serious injury, remember. Ali's on serious injuries. They're all like muscle injuries, and the next goalkeeper behind him, which I think is really interesting, is Edison with 17, both Brazilian internationals. Is it the way they play for Brazil? Like, because they're both Brazilian goalkeepers, they both play a lot of football on the floor. Is it something to do with what we're asking them to do in playing like a sweeper keeper that causes this issue? Like, I don't know, but if you ask me now, what's going to happen next season? If this injury is a lot longer than we think, do you remember last time? It was 1 game, and then it ended up being about 6 or 7 or 8 in the end, and it was the same injury, okay, because he re-aggravated it. My worry is if this doesn't get dealt with properly and he gets completely rested and they give him all the time that he needs to then get ready to go again, then maybe that won't happen again. But if it does, I do think that next year we probably will be looking at Mamardashvili coming in and maybe having a bigger part to play than we might have first thought. Because you can't have your first choice goalkeeper being an injury prone player, and he's injury prone. I'm sorry, like 5 seasons, 40 games he's missed. That's a lot. That's almost a season's worth of football. Like,
yeah, I hear you, man.
But he is world class and the best in the world, by the way.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing about it. That's the frustrating thing about it, isn't it, Cav? Because we do regard him as the best goalkeeper in the world. But injuries, what is it they always say? The best ability is availability. Do you get a bit concerned, Cav, about the injuries that Alisson does pick up for a goalkeeper, especially muscle-related ones?
Yeah. Do you know what? Obviously, I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. and I think he has been for quite some time. I do hear K-Mac's stats, and I hear his points and his feelings. I got to admit, I don't care. Not about your feelings, K-Mac. I care about them a little bit. I don't care that Ali's injured as much as he is, because I see him as how I see Jar. They both get injuries and they both miss games, but they both deliver usually when they're on the pitch. And so for me, I just focus on trying to get them on the pitch as much as possible. And Ali doesn't take very long. I know it's a goalkeeping position, but he can come straight back in when he is fit and he performs. You know, I don't know what the statistics are, maybe you guys do, but I think most seasons that we've had Ali, he's gained us points. You know, even if Ali misses games this season, I think we'll look back at the end of the season, regardless of what we achieve, and think he probably gained us 15 points this year. You know, so what does it really matter? I think that we've been fortunate that we've had a good backup. I think Kelleher's done quite well. It's been admirable, his performances whilst Alisson's been out. I don't think we'll have that after next season, because I think Kelleher will move on. And then it'll be interesting to see what number two will step in, because I think Mamardashvili is on a 2-year loan, I believe. So there might be a year that we have to bring somebody in or what have you. But yeah, I'm just not concerned about it. Of course, I'd like for him to be more available. Of course, I would like them to work out what the problem is, because it's never in the game. It always seems to be between games. So is it training? Is it recovery? Is it just the way that his body's made up? I don't know. I hope that they find them answers so we can keep him fitter for longer. But other than that, I'm not too concerned. I've got to admit, I just kind of think, it's a shame if he misses 1 or 2 games, or up to 10 games if you average it out. I'd still rather have that than not. So I'll put up with it, and that's just my feelings towards it. To be honest with you. Maybe my feelings will change when Kelleher moves on next season and the person stepping in doesn't do as good of a job. But let me just say this. I was at Old Trafford for the United game, and obviously the keepers come out prior to the players for the warm-up, and Alisson come out, and he was doing his warm-up, and he was doing his stretches, and he was making saves, and all of his preparation looked completely focused. So from my first-hand experience, I don't think it's a lack of discipline. I don't think it's a lack of trying. I think he does. I think he prepares himself as best as possible. I think he looks after himself as best as possible. I'm inclined just to say that's his body type, and that kind of just is a thing for him, which is unfortunate. But as I say, it's never stopped him from being the best keeper in the world. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I hear that as well. Big up to Lucas joining us as well. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, not too bad.
What do you think on all this? Because I think Cav's got some good points there. I don't think there's anything Alisson's doing that, looks like it is causing the injury. So I agree with Cav there. So what do you think?
He kicks the ball. I think the way he kicks the ball sometimes looks really unnatural and uncomfortable, and maybe that tweaks something in him. And every now and again, you see him kick it, and you go, "Oh, that looks a bit odd. That looked very uncomfortable." And I'm wondering if that's the main issue rather than him looking after himself, going with Brazil duty and stuff like that. I just think it's the way he kicks the ball for me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said that, not just the people on the panel today. I've heard a lot of people say that before. But here you see Alisson's injury issues since he's been a goalkeeper. Now, obviously at Liverpool, he missed 4 days in his first season. In his second season, he missed 147 days. In his third season, he missed 43 days. In his fourth season, he missed 7 days. And last season, he missed 72 days. He's injured every season. He's injured every season. And again, he's injured right now. So is he injured? Is he injury prone?
2 of those years he's missed 1 game.
Yeah.
1 of those years he's missed 4. So I mean, if you're
one of them was COVID.
Yeah.
As well, or flu or something like that.
That's true.
Players go an entire season without an injury. I mean, I don't know is the honest answer to that, but it seems a bit rare, right? I feel like everybody at some point will miss a game for whatever reason. So half of those years, I think, are quite ordinary.
I just like, obviously, look, if we go like this one was an Achilles tendon tear against Norwich. We all remember that.
Yeah.
For 18 matches. Yeah. Again, that's a muscle incident. The 43-day, the season after, another muscle injury, left out for 10 games. If we leave these 1 games, okay, that's fair enough. They're probably illness or COVID or whatever it was. Like we know last season he had another muscle injury. He missed 19 games, 10 games, 18 games. Just them 3 seasons alone for a goalkeeper to have muscle injuries like
I think
that.
it's all the same type of injury. So I think
the
last season
hamstrings.
it was 3 hammy injuries.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the year, like the 2023-24. He's had 3 injuries and they're all the same, which is my concern. Like I wasn't digging on Ali saying he's massively injury prone and any of that. It's just he's had 3 injuries in a year now and they're all the same ones. I tell you what I did say on End's show, and you can laugh at me if you want for this, but why don't we just get our defenders to take goal kicks? Like just take away the deviation of him taking kicks with that foot all the time.
I was saying the same thing against AC Milan. Virgil kicked the ball way better than he did.
Yeah.
Keep the ball away from him, kicking it long.
Slot even said in the presser today that he referred to the decision making that Alisson has to make and his involvement in build-up play, even from as far back on the pitch as you can be. It's the decision making and trying to play out, and then when you can't play out, beating the opposition's press and doing the little dink balls. We've seen it so often go into the forwards, and then one pass off and we're in on goal and so on. So I hear what you're saying, K-Mac, but I actually think that using the keeper as part of your build-up is a fundamental approach that we're taking. So I actually think if you completely eradicated that and got your centre-back to take it from initial goal kicks, maybe, but with the way we try and entice the opposition onto us by playing out from the back, I think you need your keeper to be able to kick the ball. And I think in 1 or 2 games this season, Ali's had spells where that kicking's been terrible. Like, I think even, I can't remember what game it was, but it might have been the last game, AC Milan, where he ran out and he just passed it straight to the guy in front of him. I was like,
yes,
Ali,
he did.
Come on.
Oh, man,
we need that. So he right there. His kicking ability is very important, you know.
Yeah, and when you look at him, the way he kicked, he tried to kick it with the outside of his foot, which is like trying to chip it, which of course will cause a lot of hamstring problems. The easiest and simplest way is your inside step, right? But he does it the other way around, and it's like, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself. So yeah, and I think the way modern football is, you need your goalkeeper to know how to kick. I mean, he's a super goalkeeper. Let's be honest, we've never seen a goalkeeper like this in a long time. In a long time. Yes, Courtois is amazing, especially against Liverpool in the finals. Oblak, super goalkeeper. But Ali, when Ali is in there, there's this aura with him. And maybe because I'm a super Ali fan, but he is my favorite player in the Liverpool team right now since Stevie Gerrard left. But when Ali is in the goal, everybody seems comfortable. Kelleher is very good. Let's not be honest. 173 days he missed. Did we really miss him that much? Because some people were talking about maybe we need to keep Kelleher in as long as possible. But Ali is a whole different type of gravy. And the longer he stays healthy, the more we feel comfortable.
The just having him between the sticks and what that gives the team. You know, even we can focus on the games he doesn't play, but the remaining games that he does, almost every single one of them, he's delivering confidence to his back four. So and that's a huge asset in itself. So you're dead right to bring that. You know, when he does play, what he brings, not only is he a great goalkeeper, but that aura, you know, that confidence that he delivers to his teammates. You can remember prior to Ali, you know, Mignolet days and what have you. I was terrified when we had corners against us because we didn't command our box, and the keeper plays his part in that. And Ali, if he plays 30, 40 games a season, yes, he misses 10 or 15, whatever the figures were, but for 30, 40 games a season, his commanding is incredible. He's making one-on-one saves where we should have been a goal down. He's he's delivering confidence to his initial two centre backs in front of him. Yes, his kicking's a bit iffy from time to time, but he gives you so much in them games that he does play that you just kind of write it off for what it is as a player. But I said earlier he doesn't get these in game, and that's probably not quite true. We only just hear about him between games and pre-match press conferences and things like that. But it's quite understandable that a 6 foot plus guy with a lot of muscle on him and a lot of body mass and weight, who plays for Liverpool, who have the ball possession up the pitch for most of the game, he's standing there with nothing to do, and then every so often he's going to run out and sprint. You know, you're not set up to do that as any kind of athlete. You're not built to, or you can't build yourself to be someone that stands in a cold stadium for 20 minutes and then sprint out and it's not just a kick. It's not a kick and a pass like everybody else. Sometimes it is. If it's a kick upfield, it's a full leg extension. It's not a surprise that he will pick up a hamstring injury or a groin strain. It's just it's the way he plays. It's the way any keeper's going to have to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Is Alisson's injuries due to the way we've played in the last few years on an extremely high line, one-on-one defending, and then, you know, Alisson is that sweep the keeper that we very much relied on. You say it there, Cav, as well, about the amount of times he has to sprint out from goal. Look at the one-on-one saves he makes. You know, when he's having to sprint out on goal from, you know, we have the ball for like 70% of the time, and then we lose it in dangerous areas, and it's like a ball over the top, and straight away they're in on our goal, and he has to sprint out. So, guys, do you think it might be sometimes the way we've played in the last few years is causing some of this issue as well?
Anyway, I would say this. Cav made a good point where I think we are also not looking at it. A lot of time when we playing, Alisson has nothing to do.
Yeah,
like he can literally go 90 minutes and probably make 2 saves the whole game. So
I don't think that was like it last season, though. I think we kept him extremely busy.
Last season he was busy. Yes,
last XG against us this season, it's less than 0.5. Like he's had nothing to do.
10 shots on target faced this season so far.
Really not had a lot to do. So it's a good point, Cav.
Yeah, and one of the goals, he didn't even try and save. He just watched it go past him. He thought, I'll try to keep myself fit. Week later, injured.
I'll pull a hamstring if I try and save that.
2 goals that have been scored on him. If you ask the player to kick it 10 times, they probably make it 2 times out of 10. The Forest goal, that was a super goal. The ball, he was in the right position. The ball went around him and hit the inside pole. I don't think What's-His-Name can do it 10 times and score 5, maybe 2 more. Pulisic goal was a super goal. How he went in, I'm even surprised. You see what I mean? You ask him to score that 10 times, I'd say maybe 3. Maybe 3. The part what I was saying is, Alisson this season hasn't had anything to do. Once in a while, he will make a super save, right? That's because the defense fell asleep. But this season, I mean, even AC Milan, how many were we worried that much? Yeah, it looked like they had a counterattack, but was it very dangerous? No. It looked dangerous because maybe we did not control the game better, and they hit us in a counterattack. Like one point where Virgil forced a pass right through the middle, and it was a break on us. But that part where Cav is saying, we have to understand that even Luke, when he said last season, we had a lot of ball against us. But at the same time, you look at it, a lot of time he sits there for a long 15 minutes straight, and all of a sudden he has to do something, and then he has to react. The body tends to cool down, right? The body has cooled down. Now, all of a sudden, you have to go from 0 to 100. Very easy to get hurt. I'm not going to say that's the reason, but I say that's also a possible something that we need to look at, because even as much as they tell us that Arsenal has the best defense, Ryan has been making a whole lot of super save lately.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah, that's true. So that's what I think is a point we need to look at.
David Oliver's put a really good point in there, by the way, in the chat, Jamie. How many games has he played for Brazil in the last 5 years? And how long have those trips been on a plane? Like, have you sat on a plane for like 14 hours?
I've never been on a plane.
And then had to go and play football. afterwards.
And that's a very good point, because most of his injuries have always been at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
Or shortly after international breaks.
After international break.
Shortly
Yes.
after internationals.
Yes, that's a very good point, Luke.
Well, I said this thing about, like, so at the beginning of the summer, me and came out talking about this. We were saying that anyone who goes on the international breaks now and they're playing either in Asia and South America, I don't think they should play the first Premier League game back, because the travel they have to do is mad. And if Queven Kelly are still at the club, if Alisson's playing in Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, or anywhere else in South America for 2 games and all that travel, then just let Kelleher play the game back and let him rest. You know, just give him extra time off, a little bit of rest, recuperation, because he does bring, like, someone's worked it out already. He gets 8.5 injuries every season. He works at 8.5 injuries a season. So it's a lot for a keeper. So I do agree with you. The travel he plays. There was a little bit in time where I think Ederson was number 1, so he weren't playing so much.
Yeah, but still making the travel though.
Yeah, but the travel's still fair. And then the Brazil manager realised that Ederson's shit and put Alisson back in. But you know,
the mad thing is, he's missed 17 games with injuries. He's the second goalkeeper for injuries, and he's the Brazil guy as well.
Yeah, I think the football these guys are playing is too much. I will be honest. We've got another international break in 2 weeks. Though?
Can I give Ali some flowers? Like, obviously, we're talking about his injuries, but can I just talk about his record for a sec, because it's just unbelievable for us. So we signed him in 2018. He's got 3 assists and a goal, by the way, in 268 games, and he's got 115 clean sheets, and our win ratio is 66% with him in the team.
Alisson's different gravy.
No, he's a different level, man. He's
3 assists and a goal.
He's the different level. Like, there are certain players, and I think Liverpool got 2 of them. When people start to compare them with current players, I look at them like, what are you talking about? There's no way in hell any current player should be compared to Virgil, even when Virgil is playing back. There's no go. I mean, Courtois, okay, and Oblak. Even Oblak has fallen off a little bit. Oblak is not super like he used to be when he, Alisson, Oblak, and Courtois, and all 3 of them were coming out, right? They were like the 3 main goalkeepers. But Alisson, who you compare Alisson to right now?
Yeah, I get you, and like Alexander says, yeah, that's what we're saying. This thing between Ederson and Alisson missing games for country and club, it's something in it. There is something in it, because Ederson's missing games with injury every season as well. So yeah, there's definitely something in it. I don't know if it's the way they play, they're more, with their feet, or because they're known as the 2 goalkeepers that play out from the back in our league. They're both quick out from off their line. It's a funny one, but let's go to a bit of conspiracy talk. I love conspiracy talk. Right, let's go a bit of conspiracy football talk. Now, at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the summer, it came out from the club that Michael Edwards wants the team to be less injured than they have been the last few years and be a fitter side. And he was wanting to get rid of players with injuries, right? And then in the summer, we saw that deal for Mamardashvili happen out of nowhere. Every Liverpool fan was like, why? Why are we buying Mamardashvili? Yeah, he's a great goalkeeper. He's going to be elite in a few years' time, no doubt about that. But we've got Alisson Becker, who's got 3 years left on his contract. Then Alisson comes out and pretty much says, I love it at Liverpool, got no problems here.
Want to sign a new contract.
I'd love to sign a new contract. The family's settled. This is where I want to be. And we still signed Mamardashvili. Now, conspiracy talk. When Michael Edwards said that in the summer, were they talking about someone like Alisson Becker? Anyone could say. I don't think
it was Alisson.
I'll go last.
I think the name flashed across the desk. I don't think that he was the guy. I think the name flashed across the desk.
Yeah.
I will go first. I think it wasn't Alisson. I think it was Kelleher, because Kelleher has also come out during the international break and said, he would like to play as a number one.
Hey,
he's probably the
fair amount of injuries as well,
Yeah, and he's
doesn't play a lot. He picks up a few fair injuries,
and he's the number two. He's I think the only number two who starts for his national team. That's crazy. That's how good he is. You know what I mean? So, but to go with what Jim was saying, Alisson is the one who actually recommended Georgie to come to Liverpool. That's the crazy thing. He was the one, and I'm thinking it's because Georgie's story is identical to Alisson. None of them was known as being a goalkeeper. They were known as a training goalkeeper, somebody who we use when the first team needs somebody to shoot on, right? And out of nowhere, they become like the main guy. Mashvili was a third division goalkeeper in Georgia. Valencia see him, they bring him in, they will use him as a training goalkeeper, and all of a sudden he started. Alisson was behind. Is this Chesney? Come on now. And all of a sudden, he goes from 0 to level 3. He comes to Liverpool and he's on level 9. That's ridiculous, right? So it's like identical storyline. And maybe Alisson said 2 years, I'm done, or 2 years, I want to stay. Edison is talking about retiring. Remember, Edison was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. So these Brazilians, when they win everything, they tend to be like, I'm done. They retire early. Take my money and go.
Yeah. Go on, Luke. What are you going to say?
I don't think he was the name in particular. I do reckon his name did flash across the desk of players that have injury problems. For me, I think he does not sign a new contract. I know he says that he'd love to sign a new contract. I think he goes next, not
after
next
World
summer,
Cup.
Summer afterwards. The keeper comes in. Yeah, exactly. He comes in. He'll probably play a bit if Alisson gets injured. Bed him in, and then he'll leave the summer afterwards, saying, "Look, I've done my job. I've bedded him in. Now I want to go to Brazil, go to Saudi, collect my money, retire nice and early, and then that'll be it." I think we sell him in a couple of seasons.
I think Ali goes in the summer, personally.
If we got 2 goalkeepers go in one summer,
I just don't think you'd bring in Mamardashvili to make him number 2, and I don't think he's going on a loan again. The fact that he's staying at Valencia this year, I think he pretty much comes in as Liverpool's number 1 next year. I really do. I'd be shocked if they let him go out on loan again. I don't know. I really don't know. He's at an age where they probably want to keep him in this team now. So I think Ali's might be Ali's last season. Who knows? But yeah, that was just a bit of conspiracy talk earlier, guys. Don't take that for like, oh, Jamie thinks Ali like this. Just conspiracy, just a laugh. Okay. We all think Alisson's the greatest. I know TNT Sports thinks David Raya is the best goalkeeper in the world because they're high. Yeah. You know, did you not hear that? TNT Sports last night said David Raya is the best goalkeeper in the world. And Robbie Savage it was the greatest penalty save he's ever seen. The fact that if you watch the penalty again,
he shot at him.
David Raya actually dived before he kicked it, and he still And then obviously the rebound save, which I've already said on my watch along last night, was a fantastic save. It was great. I'm not going to take that away from it. It's a fantastic save. Same time, it's the worst header I've ever seen in my life as well. So it was 2-2, but
it did take an eternity to get towards goal.
Yeah, I mean, he headed it back at Raya. It was like, you got all that there, just not, so. But it was a good save. But he's the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. Called into TNT Sports because people like Alisson and Neuer and all that, they play golf.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I mean, wasn't Ali's save against Rafa Leal in the AC Milan game probably better?
Yeah,
than
but the problem is, Ali does you know what Raya's doing, yeah. And by the way, David Raya has been excellent for Arsenal this season. He really has, right?
Yeah.
But what he's doing, Ali does every week.
It makes it
so
simpler.
it's not, and it's not because because Ali actually doesn't have to make them saves. You know the reason why Ali don't need to make them saves? Because he's got the best positioning of any goalkeeper in the league. That's why. He doesn't have to be flashy. He makes it simple.
I'd really love to know the stats on Ali's one-on-ones, because does he really ever get beaten on one-on-ones?
Only against Son.
Well,
only against Son. Only against Son. Only against Son. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much.
And
Darwin.
Darwin. Yeah, Darwin. But not in training.
Yeah, that Darwin at Benfica against Ali, that Champions League game was mad.
That was.
We're going. Do you know that is a mad thing, because our whole thing now is going to talk about Darwin Nunez, which
that's a great segue, isn't it?
It was it was the next topic, but beautiful Cav in the corner there just segued it beautifully. So we're going to talk about Darwin Nunez, guys. Right. I'm getting ready for this because I know there's Darwin sexuals in the chat. Right, listen. I'm not coming after him. It's just going to be a debate. It's what it is, a debate show and a topic show. I have to put warnings out when you talk about Darwin Nunez. Right. Guys, does Darwin Nunez have a future under Arne Slot at Liverpool Football Club? Yes or no?
I'm going last.
We'll go one at a time. Go one at a time around the chat, and then we'll go to debate about it. Quasi. Yes or no?
It doesn't look like it.
Cav?
I don't think so.
Luke?
Pack your bags. Nope.
Pack your bags. You, Mac?
No, and I've got a wild take on who we might get to replace him.
Right, K-Mac, you can go first then. Go for it. Let's talk about
conspiracy theories, K-Mac.
I would absolutely love it if we went and got Victor Gyökeres and gave Ali to Sporting.
Yeah, who?
Not Ali. Nunez.
That is wild.
I've said Ali so many times. Sorry, Nunez.
Oh, man, said.
Send him back to Portugal. He'll absolutely smash it there for Sporting.
Hey, could you imagine a former Benfica striker going to Sporting?
I've been mad.
I didn't think of that actually.
Right, but guys, look, I'm not going to diss Darwin. I think people go over the top about Darwin. You know, I've seen this thing about that he's had 100 starts for Liverpool, 100 games for Liverpool, and 50 GA, and in reality, he's only scored 20 Premier League goals, and that's not really that good. So, you know, people will make up the stats when needed. The problem is, yeah, Jota's dog shit as well, right? Let's just be fair here.
Don't do this again, Jerry. You're cracking me up.
I really disagree with that. Sorry.
I'm going to be totally honest. At this moment in time, Jota's dog shit as well. He's got 1 goal in 5 games, yeah? Now, if Darwin had 1 goal in 5 games, I think everyone would be slagging Darwin off, right? And I think Jota's got away with it a little bit, because I do feel like Jota is a massive fan favourite. So I think his performances have been gotten away with a little bit at this moment in time. When I mean dog shit, not as a player, guys, I mean this season, his form. He's got 1 in 5. As I said, if Darwin was 1 in 5, I think we'd all be slagging Darwin off. But I do feel Jota has got the love more of most fans, and most fans want to give him time and understand that Jota's a better footballer. So it's not so worrying to people right now. But with comments made by Slot today, and I think Honesty put some in the chat. Big up Honesty, man. He says that, like I understand, for sure Darwin will get his chances in the near future. We play a lot of games. He's fitter and fitter now. He also said, I think he's put it in the chat as well, because he said, I think he came back from a loads of confidence from the Copa America. He was in. He has every right to have his confidence, because everywhere he's played, he has scored goals. So Slot is saying good things about Darwin Nunez, yeah? He's saying the right things a manager should say. But at this moment in time, there's no proof that Slot actually believes this, because he's not backing him up by putting him on the pitch. Right? So I'm cool with Slot saying it. I also saw him say today about he doesn't think Jota's had a bad game for Liverpool yet, where I'm like, Slot, I love you, man. I do. I really do. But did you watch the last 2 games? And Even with his even with Jota's bad 2 performances, I don't think I'll go to Cav with this. I just feel like Jota's going to start more games for Liverpool under Arne Slot than Darwin Nunez is right now, no matter of form, Cav.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you ask the question, does Darwin have a future at Liverpool? It wasn't because of what Darwin's done or not done this season. It's just in how we are playing under Slot and what he's asking his forward to do and what he expects from his forward. And I'm just not too sure that fits with the profile or what Nunez can offer. So I can't see at this point in time with my knowledge and experience of watching a Slot team how Nunez fits into that. I agree with you though. I don't think Jota's been very good this season. I think that he's got 1 goal, but he easily could have scored in every game. Of course, Jota works hard. You keep him on the pitch because he is a good goal scorer, but he's missed chances this season, and it is what it is. He's lucky that he's got, cash in the bank that he can spend during these times. It's so early on in the season. Bar 1 bad result, we've had a good start, and there's so much other focus, mainly on what this manager's going to offer us, that a lot of the limelight's probably been took away from Jota. So I agree with some of the points you're making with regards to him. And I do think that Nunez has sort of set himself up for that kind of example, that if it was him that started the season and has scored 1 in 5 and put in a similar absent performances, that, yeah, he would come under criticism. But I think the games that we have seen him come on, I think he's been okay. I think his touch seems to be fine. He's controlling it better. He is finding his teammates. So the link-up's all right. Still really agitates me how he finds himself offside so often. I think a player with that much pace can just afford to start his run a few yards back. Body shape should tell the man on the ball that you're intending to run in behind. He's quicker than everybody, keeper, defenders, everybody that's going to try and get the ball back in their position. So why he still finds himself offside, I don't know. And obviously, it sounds quite precise to talk about offsides, but it makes you lose control in the game because you're giving the opposition the ball back. And that goes fundamentally against what Slot wants to do. He likes ball retention. And so if you're and he likes close passing and play, put Darwin on the pitch, you've got to try find him with some through balls. If he isn't going to be smart enough to get on the end of them, I think Slot would prefer a more calmer, slower build-up approach. Don't be quite so direct and don't be so risky in trying to find that forward, because actually sometimes he finds himself offside and actually, it's not happening for what he wants. So yeah, I think Slot's absolutely fair in not playing him as much this start of the season. Someone was going to miss out. We've got 3 players in Gakpo, Jota and Nunez that could play in that position. At this point, I don't think there's reason to be concerned. I do think Nunez will have his chance this season. It might be in the near future. I do think he'll have periods where he will look like the better option for us ahead of Jota, because I think he'll find that little bit of form. But overall, I just don't think he's going to be the player that Slot wants him to be, which is an incredible shame. But I can just see him, whether it's next summer, I'm not sure, but I can't see him being the long-term solution for us. And yeah, disappointing really, because I was super excited about him coming in because I thought he had all the hallmarks to be a proper modern day forward, and it's just not quite panned out that way.
Yeah, Kwasi, what do you think, man?
I agree.
Great comments by Kev. Great comments by Kev.
Yeah, I agree with what Kev said. Definitely I agree with him. The part where these days, maybe this modern football. Remember back when where a striker was just this whiny little girl that misses a chance, and then bam, score a goal, right? Nowadays, we moved that from a striker to the attacker from the right wing, which is Mo Salah. Mo Salah misses more goals than everybody else and score a banger, and everybody forgets what he did. Now we focus more on everybody else not doing what Mo Salah is doing, which back in the day, if you can go back to all your great strikers that you remember, they used to miss a lot of chances. And then mostly will score the most important ones, right? Jota, he starts slow. If you guys remember, last season was the same thing. He started off slow and then he picked up form. And then when he picked up form, he got injured, which has always been his problem. When he picks up form, he gets injured. Nunez, on the other hand, I think he needs to learn how to calm down. Nunez is literally Liverpool right now. We are so erratic sometimes that calm the ball down, right? The first 3 games we played, what did everybody say? We seems like we calmed down. Against Forest, against AC Milan, that's how we were losing the ball a lot. We are so erratic. Like, as soon as we get the ball, we want to pass it. Instead of, bro, calm down. And I like what Virgil said to Tsimikas at one point. He told him, hey, no. Bring the ball around. Let's recycle it back way and go the other way around. So if Nunez is able to calm down, he doesn't have to be like Jota. He just needs to calm down and know where he needs to be at the right time. He's going to be dangerous because a lot of time these days with the system football, he doesn't have to be the one who's eating. He just have to create for somebody else. Like Salah, if you look at Salah's numbers, a lot of times he's the one creating for somebody else, right? If he can do that, he's as dangerous as the person who's scoring the goals. So if we can get that from Nunez, maybe he has a chance to stay 1 more year. But at this point, looking at Edwards and his business, he's getting into his 3rd year. He gave him, 5 years is what we gave him, right? So he's coming to a point where we have to make a decision. If we keep him 1 more year, then we're going to lose him for free.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, the comparisons like with Jota and Darwin. See, I think Darwin's an out-and-out striker.
They're both on borrowed time. That's
I don't think Jota's an out-and-out striker. I really don't. And you can tell the difference when they play, right? Darwin wants to play into space and play off the shoulder of a defender. That's why he gets caught offside a lot, because his timing of running is not great. But that's what he wants to do. He wants to get into that. He wants to get into that space, attack the space, play off the shoulder of a defender, like a striker, and get on the end of something. That's what Darwin wants to do. Jota, he doesn't really play like that. When he plays a lot deeper, he's like a false 9 almost in a way. But in the box, he can be deadly. So they're two totally different kind of forwards, with you saying about Darwin calming down, I just don't think he will. I think that's his game. I just think that's his personality. That's him changing everything about himself. And I actually don't want to take that away from Darwin. To be fair, I want Darwin to just
street baller. You can't take a street baller out of Darwin, or you've got nothing. You've literally got nothing. Look where Darwin shines. Look where Darwin thrives. Under a Bielsa team. What's Bielsa football? Mad, chaos, crazy. Liverpool's football the last 2 seasons has been bonkers. It's been chaos. He got given the nickname Captain Chaos. Like, this is the total opposite of what Slot wants. Slot wants to have his bloody his slippers and a smoking jacket on the side of the pitch and just pass the game to death and possession and calm and use your patterns of play and just wear the opposition out and then you'll score. Like, Darwin can't do that. Like, unfortunately, Darwin's played 62 minutes this season and he's had 2 shots and both off target. Like, he's done 0 in any time he's had on the pitch. If Darwin's going to do anything, he has to start games from the start.
He does.
He's not a sub. He's not a sub. He's not an impact player. I've not seen him being able to do that apart from Newcastle. Games. Newcastle was the one game. But for me, we don't even play the football that Darwin suits now. Like, we just don't. Like, unless you want Hollywood passes from Trent all the time. And we know we don't want that.
I agree with you because Jota does suit. I think Jota suits what Slot wants to do. That more patient build up, he suits that because he does come back into midfield as well and can help out there, and it lets your 2 wide players almost play as full centre forward. So I think he suits Slot's football. Like, I think Darwin suited what Klopp wanted him to do because it was more a frenetic pace, where this is a slower pace now. Look,
I think also
Oh, go on, Cav.
Sorry, Joe. I just wanted to add to your point. I think you're right in what you're saying, but part of that is also our press when the opposition have the ball as well. We're slightly different to when we played under Klopp, where we would just press everybody at any point and try to get 2 or 3 men around the ball. Now it's a case of when their goalkeeper has the ball, we actually don't press until they've come out of the 18-yard box, and we sit as almost a two bank. We almost
it's a contained press, ain't it? We play. Now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Szoboszlai's another player that's kind of been spoken about this season, albeit so early on. And a lot of his plaudits have come for his work off the ball, and part of that is his positioning and his efforts in the press. And I just think that, although I said I don't think Jota's played particularly well this season, it seems like he's understood where he needs to be in that press, bearing in mind where Szoboszlai is and where his 2 wide men are. And it seems like, although not perfect, it seems like their press and when to press and reading the triggers to press is and how high they take that line and recognizing how far your defenders have pushed up. I think they've just grasped that understanding a bit better, and they work as a unit a bit better, as opposed to if he put Darwin in there, because I think Darwin's natural instinct would just be chase down whoever's got the ball. And that's all well and good, and it looks great. And sometimes that gets the crowd going. But actually, the ripple effect of that is everybody else has got to shuffle over to suit, and suddenly we're not quite as compact. And if that's the case, suddenly then the men behind you who are getting some plaudits and rightfully so, Gravenberch and these kind of players, they're being exposed because all their forwards are being spread all over the pitch because they're all doing so much pressing, but individual pressing. And I think Slot's just played it safe by keeping Jota in. He probably would expect better performance from his forward, but I just think in terms of the control element, he's just thinking, I can't quite afford to put Nunez in just yet because I know the impact he would have in the press and what happens if that press doesn't work. And hopefully Nunez finds it because he's clearly got the energy to press well. We've seen that, but he needs the intelligence. And that's just one thing that's kind of, I feel a bit disappointed in him. Is I love the energy, I love the work rate, I love the excitement, but I just hoped it'd have been a bit more refined at this point. And he's not. Not to say it won't come. It's very early on in the season, but I can just understand all the reasons why he wouldn't be selected. Obviously, we've not played enough games for him to be, but up until this point, he hasn't been selected. Somebody else has. I can just see what the reasons why. I think it's justified as well after having such a positive start to the season, bar Forest.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? Can I just follow on for that? Absolutely spot on there, Cav. And I actually noticed that in the last game against AC Milan, when he came on and he started charging at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper just chipped it over him to the left back and the right back. And he was a 19-year-old kid, that goalkeeper, and he could just see it coming. He was like, "What's this guy doing? Like, he's not really pressing me because now the space is over there." So he just chipped the ball over, and we'd have all our attackers out of position then, and they'd be able to play through our midfield. And the thing as well, look at the guy we just signed, Chiesa. Like, he's such an intelligent footballer. Like, we're going for people that have got football intelligence and know how to work in systems and know how to play in multiple positions. And I see Chiesa just like Jota. Like, I really do. I'd be surprised he doesn't play in that position more, and he's not just a direct Mo replacement. Sorry, go on.
Sure. Go on, Luke. What are you going to say, my man?
I'm tempted to take a line that you that you like to say, Jamie, that he's a bum, but I think that's a bit which is a bit too harsh on him. But I think for him, I think when Slot came in and the reports were, Slot's spoken to Nunez, he's going to be his guy up front, like his project, and everyone went, ugh. And he must have seen something and gone, yeah, I don't think you're my guy. Just like he saw Endo, dropped him, barely seen any minutes since, and I reckon he's seen him and gone, okay, I'll play you because I have to, but the first opportunity I get, you're gone. And I think he will play this season because he's going to have to, but I think the first opportunity in probably the summer, I don't think he'll go in January because I don't think we'll get a forward in January. But I think in the summer he'll be gone. I just don't. think he definitely does not suit slot style of play. Every time he comes on, he looks lost. He looks like a rabbit in the headlights, doesn't know where to be, where to press, just like K-Max said, started pressing the AC Milan keeper, and he just chipped him. I was like, what are you doing? And his biggest thing was like, if he could calm down in front of goal, but I don't think he can ever calm down. He just seems like 100 miles an hour. I reckon he is a nightmare just around the ground, like around the training center, because he must be on the Duracell bunny.
Do you remember when he scored that good goal? He went on one. He chipped the goalkeeper and scored that goal. I can't remember who it was against.
Yeah.
And
Michael Owen. It was Michael Owen.
Yeah, Michael Owen came out and said, "Yeah, it was a good goal, but it's completely the wrong finish, because that sort of finish is a 1 in 100 finish." And that Michael Owen is basically saying that shows me he's not a natural finisher, because that finish he did is so unnatural. And then he tried to do it again in Europe, like later on in the season. You remember rightly, the same technique, and he went about 5 yards wide.
It was against Atalanta at home, and it was a really important goal chance.
And that's what Michael Owen was talking about. Is that it's the way you finish. You can tell if you're a natural striker. I don't think he's a natural finisher. I think I like Darwin. I really do, and I think we all want Darwin to succeed. Every 100%. One of us. Yeah?
Me too. I like Darwin.
I want him to succeed at a different club.
Right. Yeah, so this is last season. So I'll give you last season stats between Darwin and Jota. They're pretty much two number 9s at the football club. So Darwin last season played 54 games in total, got 18 goals, 13 assists, and that in 3,026 minutes played. So he played 3,026 minutes. This is the important thing to talk about as well, is minutes per goal. So he played 3,000 minutes last season, 18 goals. Diogo Jota played 1,700 minutes, and scored 15 goals.
Hey, Jamie,
and he only
in the chat, the head of the Nunez Defence League.
I love Drifties, all right. and only played 32 games. They played 32 games, scored 15 goals, 4 assists, and that is in 1,700 minutes of play. So I think personally, I'm going to go for every big up Drift. I'm going to go for every single attacker at our club right now. I'm going to say it. I think we got a striker problem at our football club.
Yes. That has been a problem for a while.
And I'm going against everyone. I'm not highlighting Jota now. I'm not highlighting Darwin. Salah, when he's dog turd, he's really bad. Really bad.
He's shit.
Diaz last season was terrible. Started the season really well, by the way. Cody Gakpo's a little bit hit and miss. Do we have that? And we got to remember, our main goal scorer, our main creator sometimes is the same player in Mo Salah. So if Mohamed Salah's having a bad game and he's your really main creator and main goal scorer, then who else is going to pick up the pieces at times? So guys, to you and everyone in the chat right now, I'm not just going to highlight Darwin and Jota, because I've already said it. Jota's been trashed this season already. So we have to be fair here. For me, Salah shouldn't start against Bournemouth on Saturday. It's been terrible for 2 games. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely fair. Yeah, they're all bums, right? So what? Do we have a little bit of a striker problem, guys? I'll go start with you, Quasi. Do we have a bit of a striker problem?
I think we had that problem for a while, and that's because Salah was scoring so much goals. We put all our emphasis on him. That's the reason why, I think, if you remember, Jamie, a while ago, I was defending Diaz because I was saying Diaz does not get the same amount of chances or same amount of attempt like Salah gets. I think the year that we bought Nunez, that was the year we should have been looking for Isak. I was begging when we say we're looking for a striker. Please go get Isak, because Isak is identical to Jota, but a little bit more better in the final third, right? If you want to talk about their injuries, they are the same amount of injuries. The crazy thing is Isak tends to come back. his injuries are more muscle fatigue. He gets muscle fatigue quicker than anybody else that I've seen, but he doesn't go out for so long. He comes right back. And now that we have a manager like Slot, Isak would have been the perfect guy because the press is not 100 miles per hour 24/7. It's time and then it's strategic. But now, go ahead. Oh,
no, go on.
Yeah. So right now, I think Liverpool next season, a striker should be one of the priorities. Isak for me, Gyökeres is the top two for me right now. Even if you bring, I know there was a rumor that Liverpool's looking at words. My favorite is Musiala. Even if you bring one of those guys in, you need to bring a skillful striker who is, gets 3 chances, scores 1. None of these people who get 10 chances and score 1. That one, I think we are over it. We need to move forward. And for Liverpool to win more trophies, especially the big trophies, we need a goal scorer like Isak or Gyökeres. Because if you look at City, Haaland doesn't do anything. They put it on his plate. That's all he does. He's always at the right place at the right time. Our guys, and that's one part where I'm glad that you brought Salah up against Forest and against AC Milan, especially against AC Milan. I was so frustrated with Salah, right? Bro, just pass the ball, man. Just score it. Get your assist up. But this attempt of breaking records and trying to prove to everybody that he deserves a new contract could be something that could come back and hurt him or hurt Liverpool. I'm sorry. That's what it is. He needs to focus on the team. And the manager needs to step up and say, bro, you've broken every record that used to be. Enough. Give it to somebody else.
Yeah, look, I hear you. And when I talk about the forwards, guys, obviously they could all come into their best form at any second, and all this talk is not needed, and they just go and do what they do. I do just get a bit concerned sometimes if Salah's having an off day because he is a main creator and goal scorer of that front line. Then I'm looking for someone else to step up and take the mantle, and that don't always happen all the time. Sometimes I feel like I love Mo, and I think he should play when he's at his best. But if having bad games, he's not performing. I think sometimes he suffocates the front three. It might sound weird, this, but I look at it when I watch Mo closely. If he's not scoring and he's not assisting, and he goes into that mode where Mo just shoots on sight, no matter what angle of the pitch he's on, I think he suffocates the other forwards because he's not team playing with them, if that makes sense. So that's why sometimes when Mo's not playing, the forward line looks a little bit better because they're all playing together, if that makes sense. So I'm not slagging Mo off that. Mo's world class. I'm not going to, go there. I'm just putting out things. But
real quick, Jimmy. But if Liverpool needs to move to the next level, I'm sorry, whether you're world class or not, bro, it's about the team.
Yeah,
and you were talking about conspiracy. I have my own conspiracy. I believe when the manager talked to Szoboszlai and said, hey, your numbers needs to go up, he was telling him, stop reverting to Mo Salah every single time when you have the ball. Shoot, do something, right? Do something, assist somebody else. And in the goal, guess what? I think if it was Szoboszlai a couple of games ago or a year ago, he would have probably said, Mo Salah started there. I'm going to let it go. Mo, you score.
He wouldn't be there, Kwasi. He wouldn't have made the run into the box.
There you go.
Can I let other people talk first? Because I want to talk a little bit about that. So
yeah, no worries. Kev,
so do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Go on, Kev. Go on, Kev.
I hear your guys' points, but I don't agree. I got to admit. I don't think we have a striker problem. I don't think we have forward problems. I think a problem when you're having this conversation is where your team doesn't score goals and doesn't create chances. That's never been a problem for us. These players have demonstrated that they can create chances and they can score goals. Are they the most clinical? No. But if you're 1-in-1, that's great. But it doesn't really matter as long as you as a unit can create enough chances that you get enough goals to win games. And more often than not, we do that. It's incredibly frustrating when we drop points at home to Forest. And like last season, we dropped points to Luton and these teams. I get it. But you have to take a step back and look at the season and realise that in the Premier League, we were in that title race up until the very end. We dropped off.
Yeah.
and we fell away. But we can't discard the rest of the season. And these players were good enough to get us to that point, right? In Europe, we will compete, as we always do. And in the Cups, we win them most years, you know. So we won one last season, won two the year before. So these players are good enough to do their job, which is create and score goals, right? I wish that they were more refined in their play. I think Diaz is still a little bit of a wild card. I'd like him to bed in with the players around him a bit better. I think Gakpo's been unfortunate because I think his ability lends himself to be played in different positions, and I don't think he's been able to nail down a spot. I hope this season that we continue to play him off the left wing because I think he showcased some amazing things in the summer for Netherlands, and I think that he showcased that again against Milan. So I hope that he gets past that and he can play left wing and he can just thrive there. I think that on the right, Mo Salah, I watched him every game last season and thought a lot of the games he was terrible, but then he crops up with the goals. And as much as I don't like it, every single team in the world would take that and they would take Mo Salah, right? Maybe not at his age now, but, you know, forgetting all that as the player, you would. And then the forwards, you've got the most clinical guy that's injured a lot. And then you've got Darwin Nunez, who we just spoke about. And all of them players can rotate between positions. Plus, you've got Chiesa that comes in that solves a problem we've discussed about for so long, where if Salah's not on his day, you've now got an able deputy. I also would like to see Diaz tried out on the right from time to time. I think that'll change our game. The point I'm trying to make here is I don't think it's personnel. I think it's approach. I think that for so long, Liverpool's tactic has been high energy, press up the pitch. When you win the ball, make something happen. If we're building out from the back, go out wide, and then see what the do with his incredible passing and crossing and such. A year's gone by with Robertson. I hope that this season we would change approach. I'd like for us to have more clear patterns and build up styles and not just be so fluid. I'd like us to be fluid enough that the players can create and express themselves, but I'd like them to have some clear instructions as to how they're going to build up and make space for each other. And I think Slot's done that. Did it terribly against Forest, but in the other games, I think he's done that. And I think playing more centrally in our build-up, utilising Gravenberch in our build-up, line-breaking passes from him and McAllister and so on, I can just see that change of approach. And I'm just hoping that creates a variety of ways in which we can score goals. And I think these players are good enough to do it. So I think that all of the players are absolutely fine. I think they are at the level for Liverpool that we require. I just think that we need to, as a team, build up better. We need to play better. We need to get the Anfield crowd back on side because that's gone quiet of late. And we just need to build momentum and just wait and see and just keep encouraging what's happening. I personally think if you take Jota out and you put, Gyökeres in, who's playing well at the minute, I don't think it revolutionizes us. And I think we just sometimes got to remind ourselves that although one or two games are bad and some finishing's terrible at times, actually these are still some of the best forwards in the world. I mean, we just played AC Milan and Rafael Leao's meant to be this so-called amazing left winger and Trent pretty much pocketed him for most of the game. So that showed me that, because I don't watch a lot of football around Europe, I'll admit, but he was meant to be one of the guys that we're meant to be scared of.
Oh, he's just got
talk about a bum.
Gyökeres
is a great striker. I know you like him, K-Mac, but I
was talking about the wild Nunez thing, mate. I was talking about the swap deal.
I think
he's getting a lot of plaudits, but I've got friends that are from Coventry. I live not too far away from there, and they absolutely loved him. But it's Coventry. Come on, he now plays for Sporting. It's Sporting. Come on.
2 years now. 2 years data.
I know, and he could be great, and he does look good. But last year it was Boniface. The year before it was Osimhen. These guys aren't Real Madrid and Man City, and these teams.
I hear you, Cav, but we bought Darwin Nunez. We bought Darwin Nunez, who had one good season in Portugal at the same time.
I hear it. It perhaps wasn't in hindsight. I thought at the time it was a great signing. I must admit, right? If we saw Boniface last season, I think, it's great because he's coming off the back of a great season. No. I think it was a good signing, but at the end of the day, we can't let our frustrations from 1 or 2 games or missing out on the title last season, and all these things cloud our judgment that these are still great players with a better approach and a coach that comes in game by game, doesn't get distracted by recruitment and everything else, contracts and this and that, just literally focuses on training the team, setting that team up to go out and give themselves the best chance of winning at the weekend, being better at keeping our players fit so they can play together for longer and build up better chemistry. I think that's the route to success, not changing the players. Of course, 1 or 2 are needed, but I don't see, to go back to the original point, I don't see the forwards as players as the problem. I don't see it as a problem, just something that needs developing.
That's one sec. That's fair. Look, I agree with a lot you said there. My only concern with our forwards is because Mo is, there's no doubt about it, Mo's our most creative forward and he's our best goal scorer. Yeah. So when Mo's off it, like he is sometimes, I just worry, does the others pick up their game? Because I'm already looking at it this season. Mo is already in the Premier League, got 3 goals and 3 assists. Right? I mean, and that's almost half the goals we've already scored this season. I just worried if Mo's not doing that, are the others going to pick up the game now? Luis Diaz this season, to be fair, has got 3 goals as well, and he's got 1 assist, but he's got 1 assist. So at this moment in time, Diaz and Salah have got pretty much. We've scored 7 goals in the Premier League, I believe, or 8 goals, and they've got 6 of them. Yeah, so they've got 6 of them. Jota got the other one, and he's only had 1 assist as well. I just worry a little bit sometimes. That's why I'm interested to see what Chiesa can bring to the party. Yeah,
your worry has substance, mate, and that's what I wanted to kind of cover. And I agree with you to quite a lot, Cav. And I don't think we've got a striker problem, as in we haven't got strikers that can't score goals, because we have got strikers that can score goals. All of our strikers scored over 10 goals last season. That's never been done before in the top 5 leagues. But that doesn't mean shit if you don't score 16 big chances in the last 9 games, which basically get you cups and over the line for the Premier League. And that's what Gakpo, Diaz and Nunez missed. 9 big chances in the last 9 games, 16 big chances in the last 9 games. And the biggest issue I've got, and you're right about this, Jamie, we have relied on Salah way too much, like way too much. We've never got anybody close to him. Like Mane got 1 season where they were top of the Golden Boot together, 1 season, but they've always been miles behind. And the problem with Salah is he can't do it the whole season. Like the end of the season, so the second part of the season, Salah normally has a goal drought, and he normally stops scoring goals as rapid as the start of the season. And that's because he does AFCON, and it's because he's tired. And that's rightly so, because we play him every single game and he's never off the pitch. And if you look at last season, 18 goals, you look at the season before, 19 goals. The majority of those goals were scored in the first half of the season. Like 80% of them were. And that's the pressure we put him on since we got rid of Mane and Bobby. And last season, just for example, the whole process of the game was to get Nunez in the goal scoring positions and to take all of the pressure off Salah having to be the main goal scorer. And I get that, and I could see it, and we could see it working, but he just couldn't score the goals. He just missed chances after chance. I think he hit the crossbar 25 times last season, and he missed nearly 50 big chances. Like, there's only one player that missed more than him, and that was Haaland, who scored about 50 goals. So this is the problem. This is a big problem for Liverpool, is having the right people fit and not tired at the end of the season when you need to get over the line. And Diaz and Nunez and Gakpo aren't the guys that can do it. And Jota's normally not fit.
I think by that token, though, you've got. I don't think you can pick out just those players. Pick them all out.
Oh yeah.
We should have. Midfielders should have been contributing more. Defenders. We see Konate and Virgil turn the game around for us against AC Milan. The amount of quality that we have in Trent when he puts them crosses in from corners and set pieces and stuff. Why aren't our centre backs getting more goals? You know, you can. I understand why you pick out the forwards. That's their main aim in the game, right? But across the board, I think we could be doing better. And I don't see the reliance on Salah as a. I only see it as a bad thing because in years ahead he's not going to be here, and where he left, right? And we'll find out when that happens. But I don't think reliance is such a bad thing because I think, as you rightly said, all of our forwards got 10 goals last season or over. So they played some part, and also every single team relies on their best player. So he just happens to be ours in that position.
Gav, this is the part where I want to challenge you a little bit. You said change of approach will make us score goals. We have changed the approach, and the manager previously changed the approach a few times, and we were not scoring goals. And it looked like ever since we lost Firmino at his peak, our goals have dropped, right? Because Firmino was the great equalizer between Salah and Mane. And recently, Virgil was asked the same question: who's the best player you play with? He didn't want to say it, but he said the most important player he played with was Firmino, because the way he balanced out between those two players. So right now that we have a seemingly obvious change of approach, we still seem to look like we can break teams down. Against
it takes
Forest,
time though, Quasi.
No, I understand that. I totally understand
that team you're referring to was built over a number of seasons and was successful after failure.
Correct.
We've not experienced that with this team yet.
That is correct. But all of us can agree that at preseason we saw a philosophy of play from Slot, right?
Yes.
We all can say
agreed.
Yeah. But right now, can you say we see a philosophy that Liverpool can break teams down?
I actually think, right, I just want to say one thing. I actually think if Jota took his chance against Nottingham Forest, we win that game. Do you know what I mean? I think it's fine margins. I know everyone says Liverpool. I know a lot of people say Liverpool struggle against low blocks, yeah. But every time I watch us against low blocks, it's because we miss our chances. We actually do create chances against low blocks. No one really creates 1,000 chances against low blocks. That's why it's called a low block team. You know, you don't get a lot of chances. But the fact is, when you've got your chance, you've got to take it. Now, if Jota actually decided to go with his head and header that ball from that pass from McAllister instead of his foot, he puts it in the back of the net, and I think Liverpool go on from there 1-0 up to win the game. So they build from that goal.
Let me ask you a question, Jamie. Based on what you said, and you said we do create the chances, but we do what? We don't score them. To me, kind of answer the question that you asked, said, hey, you may have goal scoring problem because it's not like you're not creating. It's like you are there, put the ball in the back of the net. And we are not doing that. Because a lot of times when we go against low block teams, we do play well. It's just we don't put the ball in the back of the net. So it's either you have a personal problem or you have an approach problem, like Cav was saying. So which one it is?
I don't think either of them are a problem. I just would like to see more time for the approach to flourish. That's all. And you asked the question, have you seen change? To give you some examples, years gone by, we used to get the ball out wide and it would be Trent and Robbo as our main creators. Our forwards would play, Salah and Mane would play as inside forwards, right? We completely moved away from that now because when we build out from the back, we build out a lot more slower. We use Ali more. We encourage the opposition to press us. That means there's more space. We go out wide if we need to, but actually there's a clear direction to get the ball narrow. Go narrow initially and then wide. And we trust the likes of McAllister and Gravenberch to be able to receive that ball from the defenders in midfield, centrally, more often than not where they're going to be pressed. Take it left or right foot, recognize the press and beat it. And beating it might be body position, might be a small feint, it might be let it run across your body. It might just be to play a 1-2 and then line breaking passes, right? And then we've also seen that the press further up the pitch, I spoke about earlier, is different. And when we win the ball, it's still go and create, but actually, as Slot said himself, don't don't take that risk if you don't think you can make that pass and recycle it and go again. I do think that season and what we've seen in these first few games of the season, there is a clear approach and there is a clear way in which we try and play. But he's also said, you can move away from that, be smart in the game. We've seen as an example where we are being pressed and we can't pragmatically play small, intricate passes and tick-attack our way out. We fire a ball into the forward, he lays it off, and we play it forward again to the third man run. That's a clear way in which Slot's identified how you can beat a press if your initial tactic isn't working. What I'm just trying to say is, I don't think it's a personnel problem. I don't think the approach is wrong. I just would like to see the players given time to master it. Because I do genuinely think if these players get it over time with the build of chemistry, a build of understanding, this approach, I really do think it's going to set us up for some success. And that control element is somewhat what's let us down in years gone by. We've had all the energy, we've had all the creation and goals, but we're so tired at the end of the season because we're burnt out. We just didn't exercise any control in the weeks prior. And now I'm hoping that we can be as flowing in our goal scoring, as defensively solid as we need to be, but actually, I'm sorry to say, at times, a bit more boring so that we've still got legs at the end of the season. And that's what I'm hoping for. And that's why I can get behind what we're doing.
No, I agree with you.
Me and you, Cav, are hoping for boring football then.
Boring and win so I can go about my days happy.
I don't mind that,
I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all.
That Forest result ruined my weekend. I'm not trying to see it before that.
Guys, go on quickly.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I don't mind the Slot way of playing. And also, I think, Cav, you said that get the fans on board. I think the fans, it'll take time for them to get back into the Slot way of, they don't know when to jump up and down, celebrate or whatever, right? Because club game was 100 miles per hour. We celebrate we start chanting from as soon as the whistle to blow, the whole stadium goes way wild. Right now, it's methodical.
True for the most part. But even Klopp had to play his part in getting the crowd up. I mean,
exactly. He
spoke about it a few times.
Yes, he did.
The support,
Yeah, this reminds me more of the Benitez years where everything was slow pace and then bam, we go at it, right? But the thing that I think I'm concerned about is the players. The Salah thing is not, I don't think it's a problem because he's a super player, but the other players needs to step up. Stop relying on Salah a little bit too much, right? So Boslai being the number one person that needs to stop doing that. Stop putting the ball on Salah every single time. After 2 runs, give it to somebody else, right? And Jamie, I agree 1,000%. This game, I will start Diaz on the right, Gakpo on the left, because Gakpo right now is sharp, and we need to keep him as such. Diaz is also looking good, and you need to keep him playing. Give Salah some time to breathe, because guess what? Next week, we got 3 games, right? We got 2 extra games next week. So I will have Salah bench, put Diaz on the right, and then maybe even give Chiesa a little bit some game time, a little bit more than just 2 minutes that he got against AC Milan.
I've got to go, guys. Salah's not getting benched. I'm sorry.
Big up, King.
No.
Not for a home game. See you later.
Yeah. See you later, man. See you later.
Great show, guys. Yeah.
No, look, I agree with you guys. I just find it interesting with the goal scoring part of it, the attack. I think they're all good players. I think last season I needed Luis Diaz to pick up his game a bit, and this season he has so far. So if that continues, we'll be fine. It's just the centre forward area that concerns me. Jota and Darwin. That's the position that concerns me the most at this moment in time. It's not actually the wide areas. It's that number 9 position because, I'm just.
I think that's the position we'll probably address in the summer.
Yeah, that's the position I'm concerned with the most. Let's move this along. I want to move this along. Let's talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, it's a mad day for a Trent fan because this morning you woke up and you saw Trent Sprite trying to buy a French club, and you're like, "What the hell is that about?"
And that got already owns Man U.
Yeah. And So that got debunked today. Like Trent apparently is like he's not actually buying any sort of club. But the other news we got today, and it's been all over Twitter at the moment, a lot of people talking about it today, and it's the fact that Trent, and it comes from I can't remember his name now, Morato, I think. Yeah, Real Madrid have not made an official offer for Trent's agents, and the truth is, Liverpool haven't either. Before they make an offer, their talks with him will focus on deciding whether he wants to stay or not, and then negotiate on finances. Now, the way that's quoted, I don't know if that means Real Madrid or Liverpool. Because the way it says it, literally says it, the way it's quoted, it says Real Madrid have not made an official offer for Trent's agents to his agents. And the truth is, Liverpool have not got that far either. And then full stop. Before they make an offer, they're talking with him will focus on deciding whether he wants to stay or not. Oh, yeah, so Liverpool, I suppose. And then negotiate on finances.
Which, I mean, go on. Sorry. I was going to say, I mean, which it kind of makes sense. Do you want to stay? Yes. Okay, let's talk about numbers. Right? That's how I've kind of seen that. But
he must be umming and ahhing about it then, because if we've not spoke money yet, he must be thinking, do I, don't I, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? Because that's what that seems like. Oh, when I first read it before sending it to you, that looked like that he is in that, ironically, he's in that Zubimendi space. Does he leave his boyhood club to go to Spain to take that next step?
I see what you're saying. So he hasn't made up his mind
for
yet.
Me, I think he'll just be another player at Madrid. I don't think he'll do that well at Madrid. I think, yeah, again, if he stays here, is he going to express himself the way he did under Jurgen Klopp? Is he going to get that freedom to go into midfield like he did under Jurgen? No, I don't think he will. And shock horror, the only time he did that this season, wandering into midfield and playing in midfield, was the game we lost to Forest. So it all depends on what he wants, really. But I'm sure the club have probably got a deadline saying, hey, you need to make a decision or else we'll just, yeah, you can leave, sort of thing.
Yeah, and honestly, I agree with you, Luke, right there. That last statement you made. I'm tired of players holding Liverpool hostage, right? You may be great. We want you to stay. The club definitely wants you to stay. So let's talk numbers if you want to stay. But I don't like when they making seems like
sorry, wrong picture. So I actually weren't meant to put that up. I was meant to put that up. I was meant to press on that one. I was meant to press on that one. This is Trent. He's got 90 assists in 320 games. Modric has got 86 assists in 534 games. So obviously, Trent's a quality footballer, ain't he? He is a quality footballer. None of us are going to deny that. But
and this season he's playing better too.
Yeah, he's played like a conventional right back this season. He's gone back to playing conventional right back. Do you know the only game he was shit this season? Nottingham Forest. Do you know what he was doing against Nottingham Forest? He was inverted and away with a shot.
He inverted. Yeah. And AC Milan too, he did the same thing. And they yelled at him to go back to the side. But this one I was just saying, like, hey, Trent has to look out for Trent. We all agree that, right? As much as we want him to stay, he has to look out for Trent and Trent's family. But Liverpool also have to look out for Liverpool. So both of them needs to sit down and figure out what they want to do. They should have never gotten into this place in the first place, right? They should have talked to him last year before we got here, at least before Klopp decided to leave, because Klopp leaving also kind of put a full stop on everything that was supposed to be talked about. But at this point, I want what's best for Liverpool. Trent needs to take care of Trent. But as a fan, and the jersey that I'm wearing, I love Trent. I don't want him to go anywhere. Just like Luke said, if you go to Madrid, you're just another player. They can replace you the next season. So, but if you choose to leave hey, you choose to leave, and you have done very well for Liverpool club, and you are a legend. I don't care what anybody says. He has been a legend for Liverpool club, but at this point, don't hold the club to a hostage. And I don't want that that the media game play that they'll be doing. Oh, the club haven't talked to me. Oh, nothing going on, and I don't like that. To me, it kind of derailed everything that the club is trying to do. I like what Virgil said. He said, Alisson was even the best answer. It's like, I don't need to talk about my contract right now. Let's talk about the other guys who are in the immediate, So at the end of the day, let's see what happens. If they want to stay, I think the club will find a way to keep him.
Kev, what do you recommend?
I trust that the club haven't forgot about these contracts. So there's a
it does seem like it. It does seem like it, doesn't it? It does seem like it.
No, we're quite astute and switched on to these things, although some fans don't like our approach when it comes to contracts and the transfer market especially. What is clear to see is that the club have a strategy and they stick to it and never waver. And I'd like to think that we've got a strategy with these contracts for the main guys. But I am getting a little bit concerned, be it that come in a few months' time, he can start talking to other clubs. And I just can't see how that is any benefit to us at all. So far, so much focus has been on what we're going to see from Liverpool, how we're going to play, how are we going to receive this manager, are we going to play, what style of football we're going to play, what the result's going to be, and all these things. But very quickly, we're going to know the answers to all those things if we don't already. And so a lot of our focus is probably going to shift to this a lot more, these contracts. And I just don't want it to serve as a distraction, because I think Liverpool, we're now in the post-Klopp era. We've got structure in place. We've got people within the hierarchy. We've got this coach. We've got a style of play. We've got a plan, and I just want us to continue to stick to it, progress, and move forward. And I just don't want players and their contract situations and whether they're staying or going. Whether they stay or go, we'll deal with it. But the periods between, the period prior, just serves as a distraction. Like, we don't need it. And so far it's not been. I can see it being as time goes on, and I must admit I flip-flopped on whether I think stay or go, and it's annoying because I also don't blame him for not doing anything. Ultimately, it's up to the club to offer the contract, and what pressure is he under to get them to do it any quicker? The longer it goes on, the more power he has, and he's a player with a tremendous ability that he can go. He'll stay at Liverpool if he wants to, and he can go to arguably the best side in world football. So he ain't gonna do anything, is he? He's just gonna sit back and wait and see what happens whilst his power in this whole situation grows. And I'd say the same for Virgil and Salah. We just need to get them sorted, but I'm confident that we've got a plan in place. What it is, I don't know. I thought maybe something would be done in the last international break. Maybe it would be done in the next. But we're entering into a very, very busy football calendar now, and I know that Slot that deals with these things. He'll coach the team and he'll prep the team, and it will be Hughes and Edwards and co that deal with that. But for the player's got to be traveling and focusing on training and recovery and this and that. And now he's got to think about his entire future, is 2, 3, 4 years ahead. And whilst everybody says, his agent will deal with that, yes, but the agent will act on behalf of his client, and his client doesn't want that on his mind. Me as a person, if I was Trent, I just want it sorted so I know that I can just focus on football again. But yeah, it's all fine at the minute. But I can see us having the same conversation 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, Jamie, and feeling quite agitated by it.
Yeah, I agree. Luke, I think you got to run, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm going to shoot. Chat. Massive thanks, Jamie, as always.
Thanks, Luke.
It's a pleasure. Have Quasi. Pleasure,
Jamie.
I'll message you tomorrow. Let me know if you're doing the watch long for West Ham, Chelsea, because I'm around tomorrow for that. And I'll
man.
send you the link for the boxing, because I'm doing a watch long for AJ Dubois.
Yeah, let everyone know, man. Let everyone know. Let everyone know.
If you're a boxing fan, check out my channel, Luke Tanner. I did a preview with Callum, Jamie, and then Ty from Never a Foul. And then tomorrow I'm doing the watch long with Jamie, possibly Callum, but I'm not too sure yet. So check out my channel tomorrow for that watch long. So yeah, massive thanks everyone. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Nice one,
Luke. Yeah, guys, make sure you put Luke. There's Luke's channel right there. Big up Psychedelic. But there's Luke's channel right there. Go and hit that link right now. It won't take you off this. Go and hit the link. Go and subscribe to his channel. Hit the notification bell because we'll be doing the live watch along for the AJ fight tomorrow. So make sure you join us. Look, with Trent, my only thing is every week that we get closer to December for me is a worry when you haven't signed a new contract.
Yeah,
this is a massive gamble. I don't know why the club are taking so long. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Rumours are that Virgil's come out and Salah have come out and said no one has spoken to him. So unless they're completely lying, they're telling the truth that the club has not even spoke to him, which I find mad because we're almost in October. I just find this, and Trent as well, and I don't think this is an age thing. Because if it was an age thing and they think Salah and Virgil are too old, I could hear it. But they've not even spoke to Trent, who's 25. So it can't be anything to do with that and their performances and their age. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what they're looking at.
The only thing I can think, Jay, is that they've just wanted to give the manager time and see how this preseason, how the preseason and the start of the season goes. Maybe they was always planning to give it preseason and maybe 10 games into the actual season and just see what the response is, because we forget where we were a month ago. We almost didn't have a clue what we were going into with this new manager and everything. And I think now we've lived it. We kind of know what we're getting. We can kind of see the way forward. Maybe then they always plan to sort of let this time pass and then think, okay, if everything goes well and we still think these players are going to offer us what we hope they could offer us, then we'll offer a contract on that basis. But there was nothing to say that, the players didn't receive the manager well or didn't like the style or the tactics and this and that. And then suddenly you're offering a contract to a player that you're not really confident he wants to stick around So I like to think that we've had a positive start of the season. It seems like all the players are buying into what Slot wants of them. Obviously, everything off the field is well set up with the training ground and expansion of the stadium and everything like that. I think I'd like to think it puts us in actually a stronger position. We won't have to convince these players to stay. They should know what we're about, but strengthens your argument to be able to say, look how good the manager actually is. You're enjoying your football, and actually we're winning games. You can see a route to success if you stay with us. And then they go, okay, yeah, we'll sign on that basis.
I agree. I do believe all three. Like the only one who's not really spoken is Trent. So let's go with what Virgil or Mo. Virgil or Mo have been publicly speaking about it. And by the sounds of it, they want to stay at the football club. And they'd love to sign a new deal. Now, the club might look at them too and think, I don't know what sort of deal they want. How much money increase. I don't think but for Mo, I don't even think Mo will have that much of a money increase. I think it's about years of contract. And with Virgil, you can bump up his wages because there's room for negotiation with Virgil because I think it's on 200 grand a week. So you got room for negotiation with Virgil and link for a contract. I actually think them two are the easiest to sign up. I actually think Trent's the hardest to sign up because Ball Manager Energy says that would you make Trent your highest paid player at the club? Now, I believe that is what Trent might want. He might want to be the highest paid player at the football club. Now, I don't know Trent. I can't say for Trent. It might be Trent's agents, who I believe is his brother, might be saying this to the football club. Now, my problem with it is, Trent is a right back. Should my right back be the highest paid player? Should my right back be the highest paid player in my team? Or should it be like the midfielders, the forwards? Should it actually be my right back? He is a defender first. That is his job. He's a right back. Now, Trent is a different kind of right back, I suppose you can say, because his abilities with the ball. You could argue as a player at his best, he's at the highest end of the quality ladder, as a footballer. But he's a right back. And do you go to the club look at it and think, if we make the right back our highest paid player, then when players in a more, attack-minded sense that usually do get the money, and they're coming up with contracts, or we buy them and they want a certain contract, and they're looking, your right back's the highest paid player here, what's going on? Is it difficult then, Cav, to give Trent the money he wants because of that?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think Trent has shown that he is a unique player.
Oh, totally, yeah, I agree.
He's got unique ability. He can do things that not many other players can do. He's won it all at Liverpool, so he's got the trophies, he's got the credit, he's got everything really. And so I think if you made him the highest paid player at the club, be it his, considering his age, he'd be the future captain. I think you could totally justify it, and I can't see how other players could look at him and think that's not justified. What player can step to Trent and say you don't deserve that money, and I deserve to be on more or the same? Because Trent could turn around and say, well, you can't do what I do to every single one of them. You've not won every single trophy at this club. You've not got 5, 6, 7, 8 years left here. You're not going to be the future captain, and you're not going to play week in, week out like I can. There might be one or two in the future, who knows? But and maybe one player can maybe argue with that. Virgil's also won all of them trophies, Salah as well. But who can tick all of them boxes that Trent offers? So I think he's got a strong enough argument to justify being the highest paid player at the club. Do I like it? I must admit, I think I know they're at different ages and things like that, and years ahead of them and stuff. I personally think that Virgil should be the highest paid. I think he's a pivotal figure for us as a club, not only on the pitch but off it. Is a captain on the pitch, but he carries himself as a proper leader off it as well. And I just think that he justifies being the highest paid. Maybe Salah for what he offers us in terms of actual goals and assists and stuff. But look, if it's Trent, considering how long he'll be here if he signs on, yeah, I wouldn't argue against it. It is what it is.
Quasi?
Yeah, so with me, I think Liverpool have the court is on. Well, I'm listening to the manager first. The manager doesn't look like he's worried until maybe it gets to January. Then I'll see if his mood has changed. Because the first thing he said was, it's up to Liverpool. No, it's up to the players to show them that they need a new contract. They deserve a new contract. And then it's up to Liverpool to choose to give them a new contract. That's why when Salah started doing well in the first 3 games, everybody was like, give him what he wants, let him stay, give him 3 years. Salah say, I want to stay. Virgil say he wants to stay. That means now you're giving the power back to the club, right? If you want to stay, then you have to work it according to our terms. Mr. Liverpool, on the other hand, it's a little bit tricky because he's young and he could go anywhere. But I don't think when it comes to Trent, it has to do with money. It has to do with more than just money. Because guess what? He is the face of Liverpool, let's be honest. He is from Liverpool. He is a vice captain. And he's an Adidas boy. And guess who's going to be taken over by Adidas? Liverpool. So I think he and his brother and his camp are saying, no, wait, hold up. Let them sign that contract first. And then now we hit them with a package, because now the marketable part of Trent has grown exponentially, because guess what? He's Adidas. Liverpool become Adidas. He's from Liverpool. And basically they're going to package him like how Real Madrid did with Jude, where he's from Birmingham to Madrid. That whole thing, give it a whole nice, PR thing. So I think that's what I think Trent want to see, because the wages is not, if it's the wages, then go to Real Madrid. You're going for free, they will give you 500,000 a week. Not bad. If you stay at Liverpool, you get a chance to be the captain. You become Mr. Liverpool, just like Gerrard did. Gerrard is your hero, so you're following this the footstep of your hero. So for me, I think when it comes to Trent, it has to do with legacy, right? If this football thing was true, that was a very good move on Trent's part. Having your own, something for the future, not just looking at what it is now. When it comes to Salah, I'll give him 3, because then you have the power to sell him whenever you want. If you give him 2 and he balls out for 1 year, he will say, I'm staying for 1 more year. You can't force him out, right? Then we are back to where we are right now. Virgil, same thing. You give him 3, because Virgil looks like he is fitter than a regular 33-year-old center back.
I hear you. I
wonder. I just get this feeling with Trent. He strikes me as somebody that's just weighing up a lot more things in his life than just football. He's not a James Milner where he goes home, he's happy sitting there drinking his tea and get up and go work the next day. I think he wants to be involved outside of football in a lot more ways. We talk about other careers. We say, "Oh, you got to break America." You got to go to America, and you got to impress the fans there, and you got to showcase out there, and you got to build your status and all these other things. You got to have spin-off businesses and all these things. I'm just using it as an example, but I just think that's strikes me as the way that he's thinking. It's like, okay, I can play football, I can be at the top clubs in the world, I can be successful, but what else? You spoke about how much he likes Formula One earlier on. That's true. We spoke about how much he's in about the club that he was rumored to take over, which I don't think is true. But I think that's his trail of thought. I think it's how can I become a global star outside of football as well? So is that involvement in F1? Is that buying a club? Is it fashion? Is it something else? And I just think he's at an age in the current world that we live in where he has opportunity to branch and be successful outside of football. And I think he's just weighing up at his age with his status and his sort of, status in the game, I guess. What else can I do? Because let's face it, as much as we love Liverpool, and if Liverpool is a city and what it offers and everything, it's got heritage and it gives a lot. But it's not America. I'm not saying he's going to go to America, but he could go to Real Madrid, become a Galactico. He could get different PR deals. He could get different media rights. He could set up businesses overseas and all these kinds of things. I just feel like he's that kind of character that's thinking outside of football, and that's perhaps why he's not encouraged this contract deal, because he'd be tying himself down to something that he perhaps doesn't want to tie himself down to.
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah, I hear that. Look, this is the list for the 20 highest paid fullbacks in the Premier League as of this August. So you see there, right backs, Trent is actually the second highest paid right back in the Premier League at 180 grand a week. Reece James is on 250 grand a week.
Reece James is robbing a living. This guy's never played.
João Cancelo's on 250 grand a week. Ben Chilwell's on 200 grand a week. Gravadol's on 200 grand a week, but he's a centre back, really. Carl Walker's on 175. In right backs, though, a lot of these are left backs. But we're looking at right backs only. Trent in the Premier League is already the second highest paid right back in the Premier League. Now, if I'm Trent's agent, I'm wanting more for Trent than what Reece James is on, because I'm doing my job as an agent, yeah? That's what I'm doing. I'm going to Liverpool Football Club and going, if you agree that Trent's the best right back in the league, then he should be on more money than Reece James is at Chelsea. You got to show him. Because don't tell me that Reece James and Trent and all that, they don't talk about contracts or what they earn and shit like that when they're together. They all know. He will want more than Reece James.
Yeah, you're right, comparing the fullbacks. But then if you want to change it to other statistics, for quite a few seasons, he's competing with everybody in terms of assists. So he can go, forget, I want to be the highest paid right back. I'm the best right back in the Premier League. Justified. I agree, you are. And then he comes to you with the argument of, I'm up there in the assist charts.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm up there in terms of number of league appearances. He can throw a lot of arguments similar to this one in that direction, and he'd be probably justified in a lot of them.
I feel like with Trent, I've said this before on the channel that you might have to treat Trent like, yes, he's a right back, but you might have to treat him differently because what else he does. As you said, we've just showed the fact that this guy, in 200 less games, has got more assists in his footballing career than a world-class player, Luka Modric, who plays further up the field. So he's obviously, he's got a lot to his game that is not just about his position on the pitch. So when it comes to contract talks, I can understand if Trent himself or his agent that's talking to him is wanting that 250, 300 grand a week. For me, personally, I don't know about you two, I think it's going to have to be very close to 300 grand a week for Trent to resign. I really do. I don't know what you guys think.
I think, well, I think Trent has been making a lot of money because I'm sure he was part of the group that did the incentives part where, you know, based on how well he played, bonuses keeps up. So I'm pretty sure Mo is the one who decided to go against that when he signed his current contract, where he said, nah, pay me my money, right? I think if Trent wants money, we can compete with Madrid, because if he goes for free, Madrid will give him whatever he wants. I think it's going to be more than just wages, because he can make money on the back end in terms of image rights, marketability from Liverpool offering him more access to commercial deals than just salary. Because let's be honest, these players the top level players don't make money off their salary, because that would be impossible. Because I mean, Messi should have been paid $2 million a week, right? So I think with Trent, and especially the way FSG work, they build in a marketability in terms of their commercial brand and offer it to Trent and say, listen, if you come here, if you are here, we will give you this, you know, your market share, what? We used to do 60-40, now let's do 50-50, right? In terms of facial visibility on Liverpool brands. Now you are Mr. Liverpool, because guess what? Adidas is coming. Liverpool is you're gonna have the biggest poster at Anfield. Everybody's gonna be around you. Just like how when you watch a movie, there's always the star is always the first person you see than everybody else. So you could use that, because what happened is it helps Trent brand. Like just like Javi is saying, he is more of a businessman. He's a businessman, not just a regular businessman, right? He's a business. Trent is a business. He is a brand. The TAA thing is going to be taken off when Adidas comes to Liverpool. So if that's the case, I don't think it's the wages. He can be on 250 a week and making more money on the back end than just saying, okay, I want 350. Okay, we give you 350, but that's it. That's nothing. That's usually for players who don't have marketability in terms of commercial side, because they are not marketable. So they want their money now, compared to people like Trent, who Trent will sell you anything. You give him a pen and he will sell it to you. So yeah. I think that's what it is going to be.
Okay, look, with Trent as well, maybe he wants image rights, like Cav was saying.
Exactly.
Like he's into his Formula One, ain't he? His clothing range. Maybe, you know, he wants some kind of image rights that they go into some kind of like joint venture and he gets image rights off that.
Exactly.
As part of his contracts and stuff like that, because it does look like he's, like Cav was saying just a minute ago, it does look like he's building a business portfolio that ain't just football. So he might want to look to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah.
And his image rights are high as well. So I get it. I just think like the longer this goes on, and if we go into October, we go into November, and we're near Christmas time, and he's still not signed a new deal, I have no idea. I don't think you keep Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think if you go past Christmas and Trent's not signed a new deal, how do you keep Trent? Because by then, you're looking at, he can almost talk to other teams. Other teams will know that he's on the market. They're all his agents going to be in their ear. We can offer you this. We can offer you that. Then Trent's got to go. Trent's got the club over. You know, he's got the club where he wants them. He can go to the club. Right, you want to keep me? Then it's going to cost this and that. And I don't blame Trent for that, by the way. That's the club's fault.
Yeah.
So
they started taking care of this. They started taking care of this a long time ago.
Yeah, Trent's in his right to ask for anything. All footballers are. So I'm not going to go against Trent. There's one thing I will say, though. I said this the other day. Some people agreed, some people didn't. I never want Trent Alexander-Arnold to be captain of Liverpool Football Club.
Man, I'm with you. I mean, I even said I didn't even want Virgil to be captain because maybe the personality of a captain. I'm looking at people like Gerrard. I'm looking at people like John Terry, as crazy as it sounds. Vincent Company. Those type of characteristics are the one that I want as a captain. I don't like my captain being too nonchalant.
I just don't think he's a leader like that. And I don't want also him to then be the man of Liverpool. Everything's on Trent. I'd like Trent, if Trent's going to stay at Liverpool, just let him play his game without that, with a little bit of freedom, without everything on him. Because you make him captain, all of a sudden, everything comes about Trent at Liverpool Football Club. People will then push him to be, he should maybe be captain for England eventually, and this and that, and everything comes on top of him. And I don't know if Trent is that kind of leader at the same time. Cav, I don't know what you feel.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I really do. Piling that extra pressure on him, piling that extra responsibility. He's so good without it that you'd just like to continue with it. But I just think he's special enough to give him that added responsibility, to be honest. I think he's really grown from a boy to a man in front of our very own eyes at Liverpool. He's won it all. He's experienced success. He's experienced failure in the worst ways, losing finals, losing the league by a point. So he's got that full range behind him that he can relay to other players. He's played in now multiple positions on the pitch. So, whether you think he's good enough as a midfielder or not is another question, but he has. He's played alongside some of the very best players and leaders, and you'd like to think he's learnt from them. He's clearly learnt enough to be made vice-captain. I don't think that was solely given to him based on ability. And I think that his age, his status, his ability, I think that's the next development for him, actually. Is okay, you are generational. In my opinion, he is. You are generational. You are special. You are a talent. You've got the mindset. You're growing as a player and as a man. Here's the next thing for you then. Here's the next thing. Take Liverpool on your shoulders and be that leader on and off the pitch for this group, this squad. And I actually would give him that. And I would see people's concern with it because it could ruin him, and it could really affect his game, and it'd be too much for him to control on the pitch. I do think he is a little bit lethargic, as you're saying, Kwasi, sometimes, and his attitude's a little bit, he switches off and he's a bit, not so much into the game. He rests on his laurels because he's so good with his ability that maybe the work rate doesn't catch up. But I would like to think that the captaincy gives him that. I'd like to think the captaincy makes him go, I can't switch off today. I can't just hit a raking pass when I need to. Actually, I need to be on it, pressing all the time, running all the time, up and down the wing, talking, controlling the back line, all these kinds of things, because it will come with age. Because as he gets older, he's getting more experience. He's going to continue to play at the highest level. And I just think that maturity will come as a man that I do generally think he could be a good captain. So for me, knowing that Virgil's not going to be here forever and looking around the rest of the squad, actually, I think he probably would be a good candidate at his age. I think I would take that risk and give him a chance at it once Virgil's passed it on.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, can you guys imagine giving him 350,000 a week and he plays like he did when we went to Everton?
Well, the thing is, what we have to accept, Kwasi, is players are going to have bad games as well. They are. And they're going to have games where their ability is bad, and they're going to, unfortunately, have games where their attitude's bad. And we do have to accept that. But for the most part, Trent is very dedicated to his game and dedicated to Liverpool, and he showcases and he balls out when he plays. So we have to.
But here's the thing, though. This is the curse and the the curse and the blessing. Trent, just like we all agree, he's a different right back. He's not the same right back as anybody else. even as the top clubs don't have that type of right back. But if you give him 350,000 a week, that means all the pressure that you guys are talking about is still gonna be there, because everybody will be like, bro, you got your money. We want to see better from you. So the pressure, regardless, will be there. So if I'm Trent, don't give me a high salary, because I don't want no pressure from the fans. Be like, oh, you're making more money, so that you need to be, you need to be playing like Messi. No, let's make money on the other side. Give me more commercial. Yeah, give me the more image rights. Give me this. Give me that. That eventually, like Mo, I think Mo went to Harvard and he had a interview where he said his wages is actually close to $1 million a week based on everything else.
Yeah, and like Danny says here as well, do we worry about players are paid? Do we want him to stay or not? That's a great point. I want Trent, like we all want these players to stay and sign. As fans, Danny, I agree. The club, I don't know what they think. To slot like Trent like that, again, we don't know. But it's going to be, it's always exciting with Liverpool, let's face it. Something on the pitch is either exciting or something off the pitch. This ain't always in the works. But look, guys, let's go. We're going to end the show there because it's been a great show and great debate. I'm going to try and do this every Friday if we can. Maybe same guest, different guest. Mix it up a little bit, different things to talk about. So hopefully we'll do this sort of thing every Friday. So keep watching, guys. I appreciate everyone coming. Cav, I appreciate your time, my friend.
Really no, thanks for inviting me on. I'm a bit disappointed, actually. I thought I'd disagree with people more, but
no. Cav was ready. Cav was ready.
Next time, Cav, I got you.
I was ready to scrap, and then I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
I got you, Cav. Next time, I got you, Cav.
I'm pretty sure we can disagree on a few things. No doubt about that.
Quasi, again, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And obviously K-Mac earlier on as well, and my man Luke. Guys, hopefully we'll get ends on next week. I know he was stuck in a lot of traffic today. It's not his fault. So we'll get more people on next week. Hopefully have a different panel, same panel. We'll mix it up a little bit, more Liverpool debate. We're going to try and do this every Friday. I know Coppish do their call-in show once a month. When Coppish do a call-in show, we might go a little bit earlier, lead into Coppish to do their call-in show. Otherwise, we'll try and keep it around the 8 p.m. mark if we can. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to go and subscribe to Quasi, guys. Go and give him a shout out.
Can I put in the chat, Jimmy?
Yeah, go and put it in chat, man. Put it in chat.
Thank you.
Everything you need to put in. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to these guys. Quasi, there we go. Quasi TV. Just go and subscribe, guys. Don't hang about. Hit the link there. Go and subscribe. Go and follow everyone in the Liverpool community. Yeah, so big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow for the Liverpool watch along. 3 p.m. kickoff. I've got a way of watching it now. Can't say how because I don't want to get arrested. So I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Big up, everyone. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Big up. Cheers.